No, she was already upset.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Truth Factor, where we do headlines with an attitude. We have a late stream. We've got some headlines, and we're going to cover them as quickly as possible. I've got an hour, and I got about 45 minutes, and then I have to go pick somebody up. And then when we get back from then, we are going to have prayer, and we're going to start in Genesis 1, and we're going to try and read the whole book of the Bible, every book in there. We're going to try and read the whole Bible, not all tonight, of course, but we're going to start in Genesis 1, and we will go till until for about an hour. Anyway, God is good, right? Anyway, glory be. Um, let's talk about some of the stuff that's going on. It looks like kind of crazy things are happening in Lebanon. It looks like Lebanon has been the hot spot. It looks like Japan has been a hot spot. We had the earthquake yesterday. I have an update on that, but we also had a plane go down there today. Just lots of things taking place. So let's, without any further ado, let's get right into it, guys. All right, so this is from Truth Now. The entire Israeli Air Force is in the highest alertness, with all pilots in their bases ready to scramble towards Lebanon. A war is imminent. A whistle of a missile and a huge explosion in the heart of Beirut, documenting the moment of the elimination of al-Awari, Hamas political leadership in charge during the October 7th massacre. He is the first, but all going to be eliminated. And then you saw the explosion there. And in case you didn't, we'll replay it. Don't really need to hear nothing. I don't think. There you go. There was that explosion. Anyway. All righty. Then we have this lovely article from War News 247. It's talking about rapid escalation in the Middle East. Israel crossed the red line, bombed the Hezbollah stronghold in Beirut. The deputy leader of Hamas is dead. Israel crossed Hezbollah's red line when it bombed the stronghold of the Nasrallah's organization, killing 6 people. Among the dead are Hamas number 2, Salah al-Aruri, who is the organization's deputy leader abroad, and Dr. Khal al-Khalahi, a Hamas MP who has survived at least 15 assassination attempts on him. Israel now appears to be seeking full-scale showdown with Hezbollah, which is closer than ever. It is the first time since the start of the Israeli military operation in Gaza Strip that Israel has launched an attack on the Lebanese capital. Clashes between the Israeli army and Lebanon's Hezbollah have so far been confined to border areas. A senior Israeli official said Israel is preparing for a major Hezbollah response that could include firing long-range missiles at Israel's Israeli targets. It is noteworthy that Israel's defense minister a few days ago said, if you hear that we attack Beirut, you will know that Hezbollah crossed the red line. Kind of ironic, huh? Anyway, here we have Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah has said in the past assassination in Lebanon will not be tolerated. Any assassination on Lebanese soil against a Lebanese, Syrian, Iranian, or Palestinian will be met with the decisive response. We will not allow this to be tolerated, and we will. Anyway. Israel bombed Beirut. Aruri is the most senior Hamas leader killed in the October 7th attack. His assassination took place in the heart of Beirut, in the Dahya suburb, a Hezbollah stronghold. Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikhail this evening denounced as a crime the Israeli strike in the suburbs of Beirut that led to the death of the second in command of the Palestinian Hamas. In a statement, the prime minister said, This is the new Israeli crime, aims to drag Lebanon into a new phase of confrontation with Israel. The second in command of Hamas, 57-year-old Salah al-Arori, was killed today by an Israeli strike in the southern suburbs of Beirut, the Palestinian Islamist movement and two Lebanese security officials officially announced. Hamas confirmed the assassination of the movement's second in command, the vice chairman of Hamas political bureau, Sheikh Salah al-Arori, was martyred in the Zionist attack in Beirut, said in a broadcast by Hamas official Al-Aqas TV channel. Hold on, guys. We are going to silence that notifications. All right. So then we have the vice chairman of Hamas political bureau. Oh, I already read that one, guys. Went back too far. Okay. So then he was also the leader of Hamas in the West Bank. He had been accused by Israel of being the mastermind of several attacks. He spent a total of 20 years in Israeli prisons. In 2010 was deported to Syria, where he stayed for 3 years before traveling to Turkey and settling in Lebanon in recent years. The video circulating shows the glow of the Israeli airstrike in Beirut. Here's another. You could hear it. There was just like a little glow, I guess. I don't know. Go figure. Explosions in Beirut, southern suburbs of Daya. Video appears to show the blast centered on a vehicle. All right. A lot of smoke and some rumble there. We already saw that one. The martyr's blood will undoubtedly ignite another explosion in the veins of the resistance and will be an additional motivation against the Zionist occupiers, not only Palestinian, but also in the region and among all freedom seekers worldwide, said the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nassar Kanani. The spokesperson also condemned the violation of Lebanon's sovereignty and territorial integrity by the aggressive Zionist regime. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's foreign media spokesperson Mark Reg declined to answer a question about the strike on Hamas offices, while not confirming Israel's involvement. Whoever did this was only targeting Hamas and not Lebanon and Hezbollah, the Israeli official replied. On the other hand, a U.S. defense official told the Washington Post that Israel was responsible for the airstrike near Beirut. As reported, the Turkish Anadolu agency, Netanyahu's office has given his ministers a line not to comment on the killing of deputy leader of Hamas. Senior, yeah. Don't want to keep watching the same stuff. Anyway, there we go. Is that one. Then we have this also from More News 247, a manhunt for Mossad agents across Turkey, 33 arrests by the MIT. Erdogan dismantles Israelis network. MIT and Turkish security forces have launched an unprecedented manhunt in several provinces of Turkey, arresting 33 people so far on suspicion of spying for Israel's Mossad intelligence agency. According to the Turkish media, police are looking for 13 other suspects for ties to Mossad. In Israel, as was expected, there's a great anger over Erdogan's move. The Israelis speak of an attack that was planned a long time ago. Andola reported that the police simultaneously raided 57 locations in 8 provinces as part of an investigation launched by the Istanbul Prosecutor's Office Counterterrorism Office. Without citing sources, the agency said that the suspects were believed to have aimed to locate, track, and kidnap foreign nationals living in Turkey as part of international espionage operations attributed to Mossad. Here's footage of the MIT arrest. Let's take a look. I just went on in. Looks like an apartment complex of some sort, some kind of building. Somebody's got a lot of clothes, huh? That's all you're saying? Like, really? We're watching this to watch them pilgrimage through there? Well, there's somebody going out. Another. They're not showing their faces. Interesting. It appears to be a woman. There's someone in front of her. No faces. Interesting. Turkish police have arrested 33 people based on country for allegedly spying for Israel. Police arrested the men in Istanbul and 7 other provinces on charges of conducting international espionage activities on behalf of Israel's Mossad Foreign Intelligence Agency. In Gaza, in the West Bank, in Lebanon, in Turkey, Qatar, everywhere, he said. A video broadcast at Cannes public broadcaster in December. It's going to take a few years, but we'll be there to do it. Anyway, so that is what we got going on. 33 people being arrested in Turkey. And then we have also Turkey fires up NATO plan, closes the strait to 2 British warships and blocks their entry into the Black Sea. So much for being a member of NATO, right? I mean, come on, guys. Kind of, intrigued here. Let's see who is all here. Good evening, Carol. How are you? Yes, Pastor Sam, I am reading the King James. I am. That is what we read here, is the King James. You're out at the who begotten who. I hear you, sweet Jenna. Hi, Daryl. How's my bud? Hi, Rip Curl. How are you, brother? Hope you're having a good day. Stuff is getting crazy. Anyway, let's continue on with this crazy mess of Turkey fires NATO's plan. Anyway, Turkey has closed the strait, prohibiting the entry into the Black Sea of 2 minesweepers donated by Britain to the Ukrainian Navy. Ankara made use of its right as it derives from the Treaty of Montrose. In more detail, the Turkish authorities announced today that they will not allow 2 British minesweepers to sail through the Turkish territorial waters as they head to the Black Sea to be used by Ukraine, because this would constitute a violation of international treaty crossing the straits in time of war. Britain announced last month that it would transfer 2 Royal Navy minesweepers to the Ukrainian Navy to help bolster Ukraine's maritime operations in its war with Russia. These are the Sandown-class minesweepers, HMS Grimsby and HMS Shoreham, which have been renamed Chernihiv and Cherasky from the Ukrainian regions of the same name. NATO member Turkey has informed its allies that it will not allow these ships to cross the Bosphorus and Dardanelles Straits while the war in Ukraine continues, the Presidency Communications Department announced. When the war in Ukraine began, 2022, Turkey activated the 36th Treaty of Montrose, effectively blocking the passage of warships from the warring parties. This treaty excludes ships returning to their home base. Turkey implements the Montrose Treaty impartially and scrupulously to prevent an escalation in the Black Sea, as the Turkish presidency claimed. The creation of the naval coalition recently announced by Britain aims to prepare the ground for deployment of a NATO fleet in the Black Sea. His mission will coincide with simultaneously increase in NATO's naval presence in the Baltic. Turkey is setting fire to the British plan. The UK wanted to hand over 2 minesweepers to Ukraine to help Kyiv carry out this minesweeping operation to neutralize the mines, right? Well, Turkey saying nope. Turkey's really good friends, clearly, with Putin, I would say. Hey. I get it, though. If you don't want escalation in your back door, you do what you got to do, right? I guess. The delivery of these 2 minesweepers coincide with the announcement by Grand Saps and its Norwegian counterpart the Gram, that a coalition is being created to increase Ukraine's maritime capabilities. This is a new effort by Britain, Norway, and other allies in order to strengthen the naval means of Ukraine in long term. Now, if by every other report we've heard that, it's pretty much but over in Ukraine, right? But here we still are sending ships. It doesn't make sense to strengthen their naval means. Come on. I just don't even know what to think anymore, guys. It's kind of absurd in some aspects. But anyway, Erdogan has put the gauntlet down. They're not going to enter in the Black Sea. Period. Explanation point, I guess, instead of a period in some essence there, right? Okay. Then we have from Times of Israel. The UK agency says an explosion has been reported near a ship in Bab el-Mandab Strait. Talking about straits, right? Dubai, United Arab Emirates, British Maritime Security Agencies, UKMTO reports explosions near a cargo ship in the strategic Bab el-Mandab Strait, which separates the Arabian Peninsula from Horn of Africa. United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations say it has received reports of up to 3 explosions, 1 to 5 nautical miles from the merchant vessel, which was traveling between the coast of Arisha and Yemen. Master reports no damage to the vessel and crew are reported safe at present. The agency run by Britain's Royal Navy says in a brief message authorities are investigating. In recent weeks, Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels have launched a flurry of drone and missile strikes targeting commercial vessels transiting to the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandab Strait that connects to the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. They say that their strikes are in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza, where Israel is battling Hamas terrorists. The Houthis have warned they will target ships sailing in the Red Sea that have linked to Israel. Several missiles and drones have been shot down by the U.S., French, and British warships patrolling the area. According to the Pentagon, the Houthis, who control the Yemeni capital Sana'a and much of the Red Sea coast, have launched dozens of drones and missile attacks targeting a dozen merchant ships. The attacks endanger a transit route that carries up to 12% of global trade, prompting the United States to set up a multinational naval task force to protect the Red Sea shipping. Oh, Lordy. More and more and more every day, right? It just continues. I guess there's no end in sight. It doesn't look to be anyway. Then we have here, guys. This here is official. Saudi Arabia joins the UAE with BRICS. Petrodollar end for USA, Russia, and China control straits, Suez, and global oil production. Ain't that just lovely? Saudi Arabia's state television reported that the kingdom joined the BRICS group of countries along with the UAE, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Iran. Turkey's current stance with the blockade of the 2 British warships in the Straits is not just by chance. Ankara is expected to follow the path of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the UAE and join the BRICS. The Suez Canal, the Straits, and the majority of global oil production is now under BRICS control. Biden managed to make reality what War News 247 has written since 2022 to send a package to the BRICS, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. Gary Duggan, head of investments at Dalma Capital, emphasized that the Saudi Arabia and the UAE will have earlier access to developing markets of the BRICS countries on favorable terms. The addition of 2 major oil producers will strengthen their bargaining power and influence in OPEC, and plus giving them the space to align their strategies with other BRICS members, said Hassan Coleman, head of the ESG research, commodities, and emerging markets at MUFG. The takeaway from the addition of Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Egypt to BRICS is the potential for more bilateral trade in local currencies, particularly following the UAE-India agreement reached in July. And Egypt is in similar discussions with India, said Carla Slim, economist at Standard Chartered Bank. Last year, the UAE and India signed agreements to create a framework to promote the use of local currencies in cross-border transactions and strengthen cooperation in interconnecting their payment system. Meanwhile, calls to reform the international monetary system and develop an alternative currency to the US dollar are expected to grow as the BRICS expanded. Um, And then we have New Year Friends. BRICS welcomes 5 new members. The WEF installer Java Millie holds back Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE joined the bloc. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has officially joined the BRICS. Yeah, right. There you go. It says Saudi Arabia's foreign minister had said that in August that the kingdom would study the details ahead of the proposed January 1st ascension date. Prince Faisal bin Farhan said that BRICS grouping is beneficial and important channel to enhance economic cooperation. The BRICS group, which is now included Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, will double its membership with the addition of Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Iran, and of Ethiopia as new members. Yes, you always say hi. Saudi Arabia's inclusion comes amid the geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and China's expanding influence within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, despite continuing strong ties with the United States, is increasingly going in its own way as it worries that Washington is less committed to the Gulf security than in the past. China, Saudi Arabia's biggest oil customer, is leading effort to expand the BRICS grouping to become a counterweight to the West. The enlargement may boost the group's stated ambition to become a leader in the Southern Hemisphere, although Argentina signaled in November that it would not accept an invitation to join the BRICS group. China has full confidence in the future development of BRICS cooperation. Foreign spokesperson Wang Wenbin said that Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Egypt, and Iran and Ethiopia officially joined on Monday. Well, isn't that just lovely, guys? What, baby?
She wants to open a present from me.
Well, she can open all of it, honey. I gave it to her.
She's making me walk all the way back downstairs.
Okay.
And I'm getting it for her up.
Now, with the inclusion of Saudi Arabia in the BRICS, the petrodollar will gradually begin to be ended as the Riyadh breaks the 1974 agreement with the USA and begins the transition to the new currency. For example, the Chinese yuan or some other adopted by the member countries of the organization. The development, once completed, will be a blow to the heart of the U.S. financial system, which has taken advantage of the dollar's reserve character by printing as many dollars as needed to finance government spending over the past decade. One of the key constants in the past 40s is a pillar supporting the dollar's character as a global reserve currency has been the existence of global financial system based on the petrodollar, but those days are coming to an end. Saudi Arabia is preparing for that day. It cuts its last major link with the U.S. The dollar dominates 80% of the global oil sales, and the kingdom has pegged the dollar for oil sales since 1974, an agreement under President Richard Nixon that in turn included security guarantees for the kingdom. The oil market, and by extension, the entire world commodity market, is the insurance policy of the dollar's position as a reserve currency, said the economist Gal Luft, co-director of the Washington-based Institute for Global Security Analysts. If this stone is removed, the wall will begin to crumble. Yep. Yeah, looks like everything is kind of going on at once, guys. Okay, Daryl. I hear you. Well, guys, I'm not going to be much longer. That's for sure. We don't have that many articles here, but we have just a few more. Let's see. We are here to the earthquakes. The earthquakes rattles Astoria, Queens area of New York, causing buildings to shake. 1.7 magnitude earthquake shook the area near Astoria, Queens, early Tuesday morning. Christina Fan reported people felt the quake as far as the Upper East Side. People on Roosevelt Island reported what they believed to be multiple explosions that caused their buildings to shake at around 6 a.m. While officials continue to investigate the cause of the U.S. Geological Survey confirmed a 1.7 earthquake at around 5:45 a.m. northeast of Astoria. Chopper 2 was over the scene. The first responder crowded around a 580 Main Street, just south of the Roosevelt Island Bridge and Tramway. No injuries were reported, but neighbors said that they were startled and awake. I got really scared. I thought it was in the building and something blew up. So I just jumped up, put some clothes, and put some blankets on in case I had to stay out of the building. Neighbor Maria Grant told CBS New York. And let's see. Then we have birth pangs, earthquakes felt by many across Maryland and D.C. same day as quake rattling buildings in New York. Maryland, D.C., New York residents began the new year being rocked by two separate small earthquakes, a 2.3, a 1.7 magnitude respectively, according to the Maryland Geological Survey. The epicenter of the earthquake felt in Maryland and D.C. was near Rockville. Tremors were also felt in Gaithersburg. The depths of the earthquake was estimated to be 15 kilometers and hit at 12:51 a.m. on Tuesday. Officials confirmed there were no injuries or property damaged. At 5:45 a.m., Roosevelt Island residents reported being woken up to at least 3 instances of a boom and a shake, with a third vibration being felt further away. Officials later confirmed that a 1.7 earthquake with an epicenter in Astoria, Queens, had hit the city. The depth was reported to be 5 kilometers, and the New York City Emergency Management said no injuries had been reported. It has not been clarified if the two earthquakes were related. Rebecca Covage Adams, a lead geologist at the Maryland Geological Survey, told WTOP the agency did not know what caused the earthquake in Maryland. Officials in New York also did not clarify why tremors had been felt across the city. People around Rockville said the quake barely shook their houses and sounded like a thunderstorm. So don't plate shifting cause earthquakes? Sometimes I get tickled by some of these comments. Anyway, one user wrote on Twitter, I didn't feel it, but heard what I thought was a big jet overhead at the time of the quake. A second wrote, rattled our house here in Rockville for a few seconds. Another said, sounded like thunder rumbling here and woke up the dog, and the dog woke me up. But while Rockville was barely shaken, firefighters in New York responded to reports of an explosion and buildings shaking in Roosevelt Island, Manhattan, and Queens. EMS personnel claimed FD and New York crews were investigating multiple maintenance holes. Fires this morning. The NYPD said the blast could have been caused by a transformer, a device which transfers electric energy from one circuit to another while decreasing the voltage. Interesting. A lot of shaking and rattling, right? A lot of things taking place. Okay, so then we had the earthquake from yesterday, and here is the update that took place in Japan. And this was not close to my nephew, so praise God. But I do pray for everybody still, and we will continue to pray for them. The death toll is up to 55 now, and thousands of buildings and vehicles have been damaged. Officials warned Tuesday that more quakes could lie ahead. Aftershocks continue to shake Ishikawa Prefecture and nearby areas a day after the 7.6 Timber slammed the area. Damage was so great that it could not immediately be assessed. Japanese media reports said tens of thousands of homes were destroyed. Government spokesperson Yoshimasa Hashi said 17 people were seriously injured and gave slightly lower death toll, saying he was aware of a prefecture's tally. Water, power, and cell phone service were still down in some areas. Residents expressed sorrow about their uncertain futures. And it's not just that it's a mess. The wall has collapsed, and you can see through to the next room. I don't think we can live here anymore. Although casualty numbers continue to climb gradually, the prompt public warnings relayed on broadcast and phones and the quick response from the general public and officials appear to have limited some of the damage. let's see, Tashikita Katita, a University of Tokyo professor specializing in disasters, said people were prepared because the area had been hit by quakes in recent years. They had evacuation plans, emergency supplies in stock. There's probably no people on Earth other than Japanese who are so disaster ready, he told the Associated Press. Japan is frequently hit by earthquakes because of its location along the Ring of Fire, an arc of volcanoes and fault lines in the Pacific Basin. Kitata warned the situation remains precarious and unpredictable. The March 2011 quake and tsunami in northeastern Japan has been preceded by other quakes. And it does not look good, right? And then we have a fatal New Year's Eve crash in Rochester being investigated as possible terrorist incident. The FBI and Rochester police are investigating a car crash that occurred at about 12:50 a.m. in Rochester, New York on New Year's Eve after one of the vehicles involved was found to have at least a dozen cans of gasoline inside it, causing a major fire. The investigation is being led by a joint terrorism task force, although the authorities do not yet know whether this was fact terrorism. The location of the crash near the city Kodak Center, which was hosting a concert, has added to the speculation that it may have been connected to a terrorist effort. The driver of is from Syracuse, the ABC reported, and drove his own car to the Syracuse airport, where he rented the SUV that was involved in the accident. He suffered life-threatening injuries during the crash, according to the USA Today. 2 passengers in the car that he struck, the Mitsubishi Outlander, were pronounced dead at the scene. The fire caused by the crash took almost an hour to control, according to the USA Today. Following the crash, the car struck several pedestrians, one of whom was critical condition Monday morning. And let's see. We are to this. There was also, remember I told you there was a lot of action in Japan. There was a Japan airline plane crash land burst into flames at Tokyo's Haneda Airport and 5 reported dead. An incoming commercial flight at Tokyo's Haneda Airport burst into flames on Tuesday after colliding with a Coast Guard plane, killing 5 Coast Guard crew members. All 379 passengers reportedly escaped the flaming commercial airplane. One user on X posted a first-hand footage from inside the plane, commenting, "I thought I was going to die." I bet. I couldn't even imagine. Watch more footage of the collision below. We'll see. We're not going to watch it. I don't have much time, guys. A thick plume of black smoke rose over the airport runway in Japan on Tuesday after a Japanese aircraft collided with the Coast Guard aircraft and burst into flames, local media reported. Live footage on public broadcaster NHK showed Japan Airlines passenger plane JAL 516 on the runway at Tokyo's Haneda Airport, with flames coming out of its windows shortly after the plane was entirely consumed. The Coast Guard aircraft pilot escaped, but the 5 crew members were killed. The NHK reported an official confirmed that the Bombardier Dash 8 Coast Guard plane was involved in the collision. That is just horrible. And I'm sorry to hear that those were military people that died in that. All right. Then we have, now guys, I saw this here, and this is crazy. How many of you guys have heard about this? 9 patients reported dead in Oregon after a nurse allegedly injected them with tap water instead of medication. This is horrible, guys. I can't even imagine. Police in Medford, Oregon are investigating a nurse at the Assault Rogue Regional Medical Center after several patients died after the nurse allegedly injected them with tap water instead of their prescribed medication. Now, guys, there's no way that you're going to, that it's going to be an accident. You know, I'm just so sorry. If it was tap water, there's no way that you get tap water without, not knowing that it wasn't, medicine, right?
I mean, tap water don't come in a syringe or in a vial.
NBC affiliate KGW 8 News reported that the nurse assigned to the ICU at Hassan Rogue Regional Medical Center replaced a patient's fentanyl medication with tap water, which resulted and several patients dying from the deadly infections. Now that's kind of weird. If it was only replaced, so she replaced the patients. There's the S, guys, fentanyl medication. Hospital source told that KOBI-5 tap water, which isn't sterile, led to multiple infections of the Pseudomonas. Dr. Robin Miller, which hosts the KOBI's Doc on Call series, shared it could cause sepsis, pneumonia. It could infect all the organs, so it can be a very severe infection. My goodness. The complex reported that 9 to 10 patients were ejected with the tap water and later died. Wow.
I mean, that ain't nothing but deliberate because tap water don't come in a vial. So
You
they
just,
can,
I mean,
put it in a
yeah.
syringe.
Several patients at the Assange Rogue Regional Medical Center died after the nurse allegedly, and again, they're saying allegedly injected them with tap water instead of their proper medication. According to the NBC5 News, police are investigating at least one patient's death at the medical center, and the sources told them that they were even more who died as a result of the infectious caused by the faulty injection. Sources stated a nurse had injected patients with tap water to cover up the hospital's misuse of pain medication, including fentanyl. My goodness, people are. I mean, maybe she didn't know, guys. I don't know, but she's a nurse, right? What? Oh, here in a minute. The medical center intensive care unit reported that up to 9 or 10 people caught infections and later died. The tap water that was used in the injections was reportedly not sterile and led to multiple infections of the Pseudomonas, which can be very dangerous to those with weak immune systems. Guys, I forgot. It could, Dr. Robin Miller told us, it could cause all that. The Asante Rogue Medical Center released a statement. We are distressed to learn of the issue. We reported it to law enforcement and are working closely with them. In a comment, NBC5 News said, Asante stated, we were distressed to learn of this issue. We reported it to law enforcement and are working closely with them. As of now, police are still investigating the deaths at the hospital and no one has been charged with a crime. Oh my goodness sakes.
Yeah, just go ahead and kill everybody and nothing will happen to you.
That is absolutely just astounding, guys. Oh my gosh. I just can't even imagine. Just can't. Okay. And then I know we were all getting so eager to to hear that they was going to release the Epstein Files, right? But now the court delays the release. The new release date will be after January 22nd, according to the court docket records in the Gulfrey versus Maxwell. Now, I don't know why that date particularly.
Because it has to do something with the election.
No, January 22nd. That's the election won't happen yet. Anyway, it says letter filed by John Doe 107 endorsement. Doe 107 request for a 30-day extension is approved. Doe 107 shall be January 22nd, 2024. Submit to the court for an camera review in an affidavit supporting her assertion that she faces a risk of physical harm in her country of residence and providing detail concerning the hate mail she has received. These documents purportedly include more than 150 names originating from the civil lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell, who received a 20-year prior sentence. Recently, the U.S. Judge Loretta Peresca ruled that there is no lawful justification to conceal the identities of over 150 John and Jane Does mentioned in these records. So why they allowed this, I don't know. I mean, outside of to stall, and I think this is huge, obviously, because of a lot of people that we're suspecting to be on that list, right? And this is who they're saying. This person is saying that DOE 107 is. I don't know. But it would probably be somebody pretty up there that would want to have their name excluded from that list, I would say. Anyway, I don't know, guys. Pretty crazy.
Okay, what's the date that it's going to go to?
January 22nd.
Okay, when's election?
Not till November, baby. It's January this month. This month. And here is our For Your Eyes section. The end time headlines, rumors of war. Can we fight 3 major war fronts simultaneously? The Gateway Pundit suspected arrested after breaking Colorado Supreme Court. Gateway Pundit BRICS group enters. And then there's the 5 new members, which we've already covered, but there's another article. Fox News judge dismisses, this is from Fox News. The judge dismisses 3 civil counts against Trump, others over the death of January 6th officer Brian Sicknick. So 3 of the 5 have been dropped. And then there is a massive protest in Germany. I'll show you that real quick. The farmers in Germany are protesting due to unfair taxes and practices being carried out by their government. And that's a huge protest, guys. Or at least it looks like it. Farmers are not laying down there, that's for sure. It doesn't appear to be anyway. So anyway, that is what we've got in the For Your Eyes section. All right, guys. Hey, sweet Jenna. Interesting. I've seen a decode for the V for Vendetta before. It was interesting. I definitely will say that. Yeah, I've seen the V for Vendetta. It's okay. And suck the boat. Right. Anyway, your Wi-Fi is spotty. I hear you. Wi-Fi has been spotty. My cell phone coverage has been kind of spotty too. But anyway. All right, guys. I got to run to go get my child. And we will be back probably in about 30 minutes. And do the Genesis 1. And we're going to read for an hour, possibly an hour. Depending on how crazy tired I get. But we're going to pray and we're going to do our scripture verse that we're memorizing, James 4:17, and going to read Genesis 1. We're going to try and get through all of the Bible and see how quickly we can do it. Anyway, love you guys so very much. She says bye. She's been very sick, guys, and she's actually feeling better. It was Rachel's birthday. She turned 12. And
I even got her a present and made her a cake.
She did indeed. Anyway, God is good. I love you all. We'll see you all later. Have a blessed night.